Hello, and welcome to another video. My name is Kian, and today I am going to be showing you how I made my June bullet journal. So to start off, I drew some crystals on the bottom of my page, and I wanted them sort of jutting out towards where I would write June. This is the title page for the new month. I started off freehand and I thought, maybe I should use a ruler to create like crisper, cleaner edges, but in using the ruler it just was too cumbersome, it was slowing me down, and at the end of the day this bullet journal is for me, not for anyone else, and I was happy with the look of just freehand lines. After drawing in the crystals, I took a step back and looked at it, and I decided that there weren't quite enough. I wanted just under a third of the page to sort of be filled by these crystals. As for coloring the crystals, I had 4 different markers that I used. I used a blue Sharpie highlighter. I used I think it's called like Tombow or Trombro. Anyways, they're brush pens, they're beautiful. I used a blue one of those, and then I used 2 other highlighters. I used like a light turquoisey green as well as a light blue. And basically I just colored different parts of the crystals. There wasn't really any method to this, I just didn't want 2 adjacent sections of a crystal to be the same color. So once the base set of crystals was set, I wanted a few crystals kind of falling through the sky just to balance out the page a bit. And then after this was completed, I took a photo and I drew June in using my iPad. The iPad is super forgiving because obviously you're not messing up your bullet journal, but you can move things around and you just get a better idea spatially of how the final product will look. So once I was happy with that, I actually transferred that in person onto the bullet journal pages. And then after writing out June, I added some hanging crystals again just to create a bit more balance. This was sort of random. I wanted them all at different heights and sort of coming down to meet June, so that when your eyes look at this title page, the word June is what you focus on because that is the month of this bullet journal. At the start of every new month, I like to just leave a blank page for notes. So that is what I made next, basically just a blue highlight. I wrote notes in the corner, and then to pull together the crystal theme, I threw a crystal down in the bottom right-hand corner. After doing this, I thought the crystal looked kind of lonely, so I gave it a couple friends and added some more crystals. So the next phase was setting up a calendar for June. I like to have a week per page. I like having the week because it's easy to visually look ahead and see what's happening tomorrow, what's happening over the next week. And usually I actually spread this over 2 pages for 1 week, but instead I had 2 weeks per 2 pages for June because right now I'm currently not attending any lectures, there's no crazy deadlines with school, so in general there's not a ton of stuff filling my bullet journal, so just to save space, I laid it out this way instead. In order to fit 8 sort of boxes per page, they need to be spaced out vertically by 9 bullets if you're using the Leuchtturm bullet journal. So to keep consistency with the crystal theme, I went back in and on the calendar days, I just added a strip of miniature crystals at the bottom of each page. I think this was super pretty. It was a nice detail to tie everything together, but this was very tedious, and as I was drawing these out, in the back of my mind I was kind of like, why am I doing this? So if you're running short in time and you just want to be a bit more efficient, this would be the step that I would cut out. After the calendar portion was completed, I kind of just contemplated whether I wanted to add a habit tracker. So for each day of June, I had a crystal, and each crystal had 4 parts because I had 4 habits that I wanted to track. So each habit would be designated a different color, if this makes sense. So I'll just read out the habits that I'm aiming to do for June. 1 is to floss every day. So if I floss, I will color in 1 panel of the crystal in that really light blue. Another one is work out. So if I work out, that'll be like a darker blue. if I take my probiotic. This is something like recently I'm like, I want to take probiotics. That's a different shade of blue. And the last one, this is like the hardest one for me, is to not spend money on food, like not go out for lunch, pack a lunch kind of thing. That'll be like the darkest blue. So if I complete all my habits, this page will be a beautiful medley of colored crystals. So yeah, that is basically the final product of what I produced for my June bullet journal. If you enjoyed this kind of content, I want to point you towards an amazing channel. It's Amanda Rach Lee. She has like goals. Like, I wish I had more time to dedicate to my bullet journal, because then I would like follow the amazing stuff that she creates. But realistically, like, I just don't have the skills or the time to produce her amazingness. But totally check it out. She has an amazing artistic ability. So I'd say there's like two ends of the spectrum. If you want to create like a masterpiece, check her out. If you want something realistic that doesn't take a ton of time or like crazy fancy supplies, I'm your girl. Keeping it real as usual. I don't know if I mentioned this whole thing took like an hour and 15 minutes, which I feel like is pretty reasonable if you spread it out over a couple days, or you just want like an hour to yourself to relax. Anyways, that's the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.